All right, here, unified partnerships. A unified front, partnering with banks to help the clients they can't fund. How to position your business, DAC's Bank Breezy, as a complementary solution, not a competitor with banks. That's what you're doing. All right. Now, section one, why banks need us. Over 80% of small businesses are declined by the bank. Now, you say, wait a minute, I thought 90%. Most don't even apply. Most don't apply. That's why there's a high percentage that get declined because most don't even attempt it. Why do most get declined? No collateral, not enough time in business, low profitability, low FICO, risk averse lending standards. Community banks have lending standards, credit unions have lending standards. It just makes it harder for a business to get approved. That's why the alternative capital space was invented. Bank managers don't like saying no. This is a key, everybody. They're human beings. They don't like saying no. They get to know these business owners. They genuinely care about the businesses, but their hands are tied. You can't say yes just because you like the owner, right? And so know that. Be empathetic with them because this is where they stand. The key framing is we serve clients they wish they could help. And we do it in a way that keeps that business going and it keeps their relationship intact. Fair enough? Okay. Let me get rid of that window. There we go. Did I just stop our sharing?
You're still sharing, but the keynote has minimized.
Okay. I tried to get rid of the window of the viewers. Hang on 1 minute, guys. Let me see what I got to do to get this back. I'm going to stop sharing. It's here live, man. Is it no longer sharing?
Here, I'll stop your sharing and then we can go from there. Yep.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Right now, the gallery was over my slide, so I couldn't see everything. So I was trying to delete, minimize that. And obviously, I minimized the wrong thing.
I know that's tricky.
Apologize. Okay, so now I can share again. And stop sharing, share screen, slides. Did I minimize them all together? There we go.
There we go. Yep, we're back on the keynote.
We're back on the bottom. Key framing. Actually, I'm going to go through this again because when we edit this out, I want to just go right through slide one. So I'm going to edit all that out. So section one, why banks need us. Over 80% of small business loan apps are declined by the bank. Now you say, why? Wait, you say 90% in the presentation. 90% aren't eligible. Most don't even apply. Many who apply to bank, the manager tells them up front, you won't be approved. You won't be approved. You won't be approved. Why? Collateral number one, not enough time in business, low profitability, low FICO, reverse risk averse lending standards. Keep in mind, the community banks have put so many standards the government has. That's why the alternative revenue funding space was invented to help the business out. Okay. Bank managers don't like saying no. Most genuinely care about the business owners, but their hands are tied. Okay. And because their hands are tied, they've got to say no, but they care about them. They're human beings. So the key framing that you have is we serve the clients they wish they could help. And we do it in a way that keeps that relationship intact, keeps that business growing. We are not a competitor. We're a complement to their offerings. Okay, you want to make sure they understand that. That is the key. All right, section two, mindset. You're a resource. You're not a salesperson. Okay. You're not pitching that bank manager. You're not poaching their customers. You're not pitching their clients. You're not poaching their clients. You're not taking their banking elsewhere. You're not trying to take that bank. Other banks are trying to pull those customers out. We're not. We come along. We're just offering a plan B for that bank manager. So we're a community funding partner, just like that bank is. We want to come alongside with them. We want to help that bank keep their goodwill with their clients, not take. Okay. So your role is when your customer, this is the way you look at it, when your customer doesn't qualify for funding here, we may be able to help many of them. We can offer them a solution that keeps them growing or staying afloat. And then they come back stronger. And of course, the funds are deposited into your bank. Get this. Again, this is all recorded, so I'm going to go through this pretty quick. So what to bring with you? And I'm going to go through all this in a minute, what to say, etc. What to bring with you. Every agent should bring to the live meeting or email or, when they get with them, a brochure. You can get the brochure for free in your back office under the Agent Resource Center, DACRC, under funding, under brochures. I like that top blue one on the left. Also, you definitely got to give at least one of those with your link and ID number on it, right? Number two, drop cards. These babies right here. They're postcard size. We've got larger ones and we got the smaller ones. Give them 20 or 30 of these to hand out to clients. Don't wait to talk to them, though, to have these. You can go with the brochure and say, by the way, I'll swing by later and give you these. You'll have these in your US mail quicker than the relationship building. So it's okay to say, yeah, I'll stop in next week with some cards, or I'll stop in later with some cards. You don't have to say, I don't have any yet. Just, yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'll bring some you can give to your customers. I'll stop in next week with some. Okay. So order some cards, but don't wait to start contacting. So why do you need to leave behind? Well, number one, because your links on these, you want to get credit. You don't want them just saying the company name. Even if the bank manager loves you, they won't remember all the details. But a brochure in their drawer or an email with your link or a card on their desk can make all the difference in the world. All the details are on the back, right? So this is how we're going to approach a bank manager. Number one, there's going to be an email, which sets up a phone call, which sets up a walk-in meeting. Then you go through the product overview, and then you do relationship follow-up, and you never stop the relationship follow-up. Okay, got it? So email, phone to walk-in, which is a live meeting. Here's the email. I think this is awesome. How to approach a bank manager. Email to set the table. Subject line, I'm local here in their city. Only if you are. Don't lie. Don't send that to someone in Seattle, Washington if you live in Detroit. Change your subject line. But if you say business funding, it's not getting open. I'm local here. That's going to get open by every manager. Hi, Lisa. You don't know me directly, but I'm here locally in Milford, Michigan as well. I just wanted to reach out real quick. I was planning to swing by or give you a quick call to introduce myself, but I thought start by sending this email first, setting the table. I work with a national business funding platform, help small business owners access capital, especially when their bank is unable to. I know you care about your clients, and it's got to be frustrating when you have to say no. That's where I come in. By the way, I'd bold that. We're kind of like a plan B. I don't compete with what you do. Instead, I support the clients you have to decline. I'm sorry, I got to move this so they can still get the help they need and keep banking with you. I'd love to stop by and introduce myself, share how we've already helped thousands of businesses, how we're likely a great fit for many of your clients. Best part, when we fund them, the money is deposited right into your bank. Why is that important? Because bank managers are not allowed to lose accounts. They don't want them being funded if they got to leave to a different company. All the businesses are already offering them loans to leave. You know, how many times I have bank managers saying, Dave, we'd love to have your business. We'd love to have your business. We'd love to have your business. I can also leave some information you can pass along to your clients. You can learn more about what we have right here. If this is helpful, increase your business or insert your DAC funding link. Feel free to reply with your level of interest, and hopefully we're meeting soon. Thanks again for all you do in the community. We aim to help them too. Okay, so you've set the table with that. Now, this is just a script. You can modify it a little bit. Now, you're going to follow up with a phone call, right? How to approach that manager by phone. Hi, is Lisa in? Lisa, this is David. I'm local here in Milford. I had reached out and introduced myself over an email about our funding. We can help support your clients. Do you recall getting that email? Assume the answer is yes. Great. I just wanted to follow up quickly to see if you'd be open to me stopping in, leave a few more materials, having a quick discussion with you. See how we can help some of your clients get funded. Set up a live meeting. Or no, I don't recall. Oh, no problem at all if you didn't catch it. I work with a national business funding platform. It's the same thing was in the script. Helps owners get capital, especially when their bank isn't able to help them. I know that puts you in a tough spot sometimes, and that's where we come in. So we're kind of like a plan B for declining clients. We don't compete with your bank. We support your relationship and help your clients when you have to say no. And when we fund them, the money's deposited right in your bank. Do you have a couple minutes now, or would you prefer we schedule a quick 10-minute meeting another time? So this is the phone call. Okay. Now, the walk-in, whether you just happen to walk in the bank, if you bank there, you should do this anyway. Canvas as a customer. Just ask to meet the owner. I'm sorry, ask to meet the manager. But now we're to the walk-in because you've set up the appointment, or they didn't answer your voicemail and they didn't answer your email. Hey, I'm local in town. I reached out and introduced myself over email and phone recently about our business funding. I just wanted to reach in and introduce myself. Do you recall that? So now you've set the table. You've been polite. You didn't just walk in. It's okay if you do, but know that they may be busy and they may prefer you offer them an opportunity to reschedule. That's the kind thing and professional thing to do. So yeah, I remember. Well, great. As promised, I wanted to stop in, share a little more information, who the right clients are, and leave a few things behind. Point to the brochure. Do you have a couple minutes now, or do you prefer we reschedule? This is assuming you didn't have a meeting scheduled. Then you go over the product. If the answer is no, I don't recall the email or the phone call, no problem if you didn't catch it. I would want to reach out and introduce myself because I'm in business funding. We help business owners access capital. Same stuff. Once you get this down, you'll be saying it whether it's on the phone call, email, or in person. You'll be saying it. Do you have a couple minutes now, or you prefer we schedule a 10-minute meeting? You keep it professional. You're not a door-to-door salesperson. You're trying to create a relationship partnership. It doesn't have to happen today. Now, once you set up the meeting, the product explanation, first of all, you've got a brochure you've given them. So you're showing them this. You don't give it to them yet because they'll read it. It's okay to go. So on the brochure here and just go through it. You'll see on the card here, everything I'm about to go through is here, and I'll leave this behind for you. On this brochure, everything's on here. I'll leave this behind for you. But basically, you're having a conversation. You don't want them reading. So review the business funding brochure quickly. Explain the purpose of our funding again, even though you already said it in the email, text, and phone. Hey, our funding is all about, we started this company to help business owners who just can't qualify for your funding, yet they got a good business. They're growing, they're expanding. Maybe they're in a tough spot. We want to help them get it through the pit, get through a pinch. Or maybe they just don't want to wait for your approval process or don't want to put up collateral or they just don't fit your terms, right? Or your timing. So we come along, we love to help fuel businesses more than anything, but we do help save some too with a rescue play is what we call it. But typically what happens is your clients, as long as they're doing revenue, we can probably get them an offer. The amount of the offer is dependent on how much the revenue they're doing and some other things. But generally, a rule of thumb is we can get them a half to 1.5 times what they're currently doing in revenue. Sometimes 2 times, but usually it's a half to 1.5. If they're doing 100,000, we can usually get them 50 to 150,000. Sometimes more, and sometimes less if their business is having some struggles, right? And usually we get an offer the same day. It's very fast. So the qualifications for the funding are at least 15,000 a month. We do have an instant funding thing for 3,000 a month. It's our gig funding. It's a business advance, but it's almost like a personal credit line. It's a small approval. But our focus is the 15,000 and up space, 6 months in business, FICO score 550, and briefly go over the cost of the capital. Now the cost, the reason we say that we want this to do fuel plays is because, as you know, any loan costs money, right? And even you guys, like 12%, over 5 years is like, they're going to pay back 134 grand if they get 100, right? I mean, it's just what happens with compounding interest and stuff. So there's a cost. But with us, what we do is we have a multiple. And rather than talking rates with them, because we're answering these same day, right? We just tell them what it's going to cost in dollars and cents. So we'll tell them you're going to get 100,000, you're going to pay back between 118 and 150. I mean, that's the actual cost. It's between 1.18 and 1.3 usually for your clients, but the highest risk, it can go as high as 1.5. So you got 100 grand, you're paying back 120 to 130. If you're high risk, maybe 130 to 150. So you can see this is really, it's expensive unless they're growing and this is not getting the money, stopping their growth, right? Then it's expensive to not get money and it can't get approved. Or, hey, their restaurant's going to get shut down tomorrow and they need rent paid now or payroll now. And so getting 100 grand from us and having to pay back 130 is better than not getting the 100, right? So that you can help discern when it's the right fuel play or rescue play. We do not love debt. We're just wanting to help come alongside and support that business owner. So the repayments are daily or weekly auto deductions right from your bank. Okay. And the good thing is, the payment is based on what we know they can afford because these people are risking a lot. There's no collateral, right? So you can imagine if there's a default, the provider of the funds loses a lot of money. So they start by saying, what can your client afford to pay each week from their current sales? If sales don't increase, what can they afford to pay back. And then that payment becomes, okay, how long do we want to let them have it for? So that payment for that long equals a repayment of this. Okay, they can afford to repay 45,000 over the next 9 months. All right, so we'll give them 38 and they'll pay us back 45. Well, they need 70. They can't afford to pay back enough per day or per week or per month to get 70. Right. So we look at what they can afford. So the good news is that that daily or weekly payment, it's automatically done. We don't have to worry about a big, you can imagine, I'm sure you see it a lot, big clunky payments first of the month, middle of the month, where they cause bounce checks because they haven't cash flowed enough. This way, as their sales are coming in, the payments coming out, it doesn't cause a cash flow issue. It's fantastic. So, and again, we can get an offer right away. That is how I cover it with a bank right there. That's how I covered it with the president of our local bank, who's referred me now 4 or 5 clients, and I've not done any follow-up with them. That's from 2 meetings. And that's what I just said is what was talked about with the president of that local bank. Okay. So product explanation meeting, follow up in person. Don't forget, thank them for your time. These are just professional B2B things. Explain you only help decline clients. You're not trying to take their approved clients. You're not trying to cannibalize their business. You're trying to come alongside and be a plan B for all those they had to say no to. They don't like saying no, right? Reassure them you don't cross-sell or try to win them over to a new bank. Share your materials and ask if you can follow up with them in a couple weeks. Now, even if they say that's not necessary, guess what you're going to do in a few weeks anyway? You're going to follow up. You're going to stop in with some donuts, some more cards. Very few, if any, banks will refer you after one meeting, but they will if you follow up with respect and consistency. So your follow-up playbook, here you go. Send a thank you email after your meeting with a link to your website. Drop off fresh brochures and donuts or bagels monthly. Go in once a month. If you go in once a month, you know how many clients they're saying no to every month? And if you're showing up regularly with a little dozen donuts or some bagels for the team or whatever they like, they're and some more brochures, they're all going to love seeing you and be glad to refer you out. Share a client success story when you're in there. Hey, by the way, last week we helped a business. They were only 7 months old, and we were able to get them $30,000, and they hired more crew, and their sales have already bumped because of that. So those are the type of things we can do. Businesses, banks can't help anyone unless they got 2 years business minimum, plus everything else, right? So you've got share a couple stories. Don't give personal details. Always anonymity, right? If we can get them a customized link or landing page to track referrals. So this is more for banks can't get paid. Bank manager can't get paid for sending you referrals. If you offer it, they'll say, I can't. So it's okay to say, I know you can't. And so I would really appreciate it. And I would, at the same time, if you could tell me who your best candidates are, because I might be able to refer you a client who we can't help, who does have collateral. All right. So maybe it's a thing where together we serve. You're helping all my clients who want a mortgage or have real estate as collateral and they're looking for a better deal. I'd love to refer them to someone. You refer me, I refer you, and we win. Reciprocal, come alongside and support the community, right? But if they're a smaller bank, then it's okay to say, hey, our company is willing to do something with your bank. The manager can't do it. But if your bank is interested in having a partnership relationship with us, we can set something up where we can be on your website. You know, we can do a lot of neat things and actually share some compensation with your bank if they're interested in that. Some banks have done it with some of our lenders, and we'd be happy to set something like that up. So if it's a small credit union, 3 locations, 2 locations, those banks are always looking for little things to bring more value to their clients. Your challenge, next steps. 2 minutes. This week's agent challenge. Identify 2 to 3 local banks or credit unions. Print your materials when? Today. Email or call to introduce yourself when? This week. Schedule a meeting to stop in when? This week. Leave brochures, drop cards, or biz cards when? At the meeting. Send follow-up and thank you within 48 hours. Couple commonly asked questions you may get from the bank. Are you a lender? How does this help the bank? What types of businesses qualify? Do you pull credit? What are your rates? Are these MCA products? Do you offer lines of credit? Those are all in the recording. Go back and watch them. They're in our commonly asked questions. You probably already know how to answer them, but be ready for them. So again, unified front, partnering with the banks to help the clients they can't fund. When you build these relationships, you're building a referral source and an asset. Now, what I'm looking to do, frankly, in my town is I have a private plan in my Chamber of Commerce to say all banks are on the chamber. They all like to come and talk about their checking accounts and business accounts. And so I want to do a cooperative training to everyone and come in and say, this is how you can get funding from your banking institution and from alternative like us, and do an educational piece and go in with the bank manager or their funding department and say, hey, let's do an educational Zoom together. Let's do something for the chamber together. Or let's do something for the community together at the YMCA. Or and go in and do a little educational, and maybe you get 30 businesses to show up. Or you create a Zoom recording that you then become a resource. So I plan to do that. That's phase two, because I've already got some relationships. But phase one is build the relationships with some banks. Let's go to your questions. Hopefully you all see the value in what we just covered. And I don't know what I did again. I'm going to grab my coffee while you guys are bringing me questions. What questions we got or comments?
We have Devora. You can go ahead with your question.
Yeah. Hey, David. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I wanted to know if you recommend mailing out these brochures, or I know you believe in public and actual relationship building, because
Yeah.
that's what you lead with every time. So I know that's important, but do you recommend mailing these drop-off cards or the brochures to different businesses?
You talking about banks or just regular businesses themselves?
Regular businesses
Yeah.
themselves.
You know what? From me to you, anytime you throw a seed out the window driving down the road, the apple tree may grow,
Correct. Got
right?
it.
But so of course, throw seeds out the window, but the likelihood of an apple thrown out the window becoming an apple tree is pretty low, right? But it can happen where, when they're sitting, if they're not getting mailed out, if they're sitting in a box in your closet, then they're pointless.
Right.
However, when planted properly, they're more apt to become an apple tree, right? So
Yeah.
I would only say that Wade and I did a little test. We took these and we mailed these out to 7,500 businesses
Mm.
as a postcard test,
Yeah.
and we got a few clients out of it. We hired a third-party company that we don't know where they got the list. We don't know anything about it. We decided not to do it again. I
Got
do
it.
have friends who do just postcard mailings, but they do it kind of like we just did emails. They
hmm
do it as a setup for a call, and
hmm
they're doing it only in their local community. So yeah, you can do it, but you're going to spend. I mean, it
Right.
costs like 22 cents to send one of these, plus the cost of the card.
Yeah.
And now I've gotten several clients leaving these in windshields.
hmm
Having these in my car, and if I go by a restaurant and the doors, a nail salon's closed, I put it in the little door where they open up in the morning.
Yeah.
It's going to get thrown away more than not, but it's an apple tree. It's an apple seed planted. I've probably done $750,000 in funding from drop-offs, just leaving behinds.
hmm
So it can work. I just wouldn't count on it as the primary way. I
Got
got
it.
a client in Missouri last year. I put one of these in a gas station, right on the gas pump. Driving to Phoenix, and I just anywhere I stopped. Fortunately, I had my daughter's car because she has my car's electric. So anytime I got gas, I left one of these at the gas pump.
Got it. Okay.
Side note, I did the same thing at the Tesla chargers, and they called me within 2 hours. Tesla doesn't mess around. They call me within 2 hours and they're like, sir, you're violating our,
Oh
trade
my
something.
goodness.
I'm like, and they had pictures. Actually, they sent me, Morgan, were you with me? Or no, Michaela was. And
hmm
they sent me pictures of my card on the Tesla chargers. They're like, you need to knock that off. And I'm
Oh
like, done.
my
I won't
God.
do it
Right.
again.
I will
Like,
not do it again. All
they're
right.
they don't they're fast, man. Mobile
Okay.
is like, thank you for the card.
Right.
Like knock it off. But so I would say you are violating copyright if you're leaving these on places. But So I wouldn't mail them. I do have friends who've done it well, and that's their only method is postcard mailing, and they do well. But I just we can't teach it because we haven't proven it to work.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Angela, how are you?
Hello, Dave. Thank you. I try to think outside of the box when it comes to marketing.
Hmm.
And one of the things that I've recognized is I go to a chiropractor. I'm a business owner. I own a nail salon, as you know. But over time, I've developed bad back, so I have to go to the chiropractor. And I've noticed that 9 times out of 10, when I'm there at my appointment, there are other business owners there with the
Hmm.
same problem.
Hmm.
So I thought I'll just ask my chiropractor if I can leave some cards
Yeah,
and do it that way as well. So just a little tidbit, somebody who, another
love it.
way
Love
to
it.
do that.
I,
So
I
yeah.
think it's a great idea because we call those referral partners or referral sources. Anyone who's got business owners walking in there. You think about a mechanics, auto mechanic. A lot of the times they're doing work on construction company trucks, and they're hearing someone say, "Oh man, you're kidding." I need 4 grand for this. Wow. Or 13 grand so absolutely great point, guys. These are great leave behinds as brochures, even at the local diner, put it in that's why they're written like a billboard, post it up at Starbucks, post it up at the coffee shop, wherever you can. Thank you, Angela. Michael, how are you, buddy?
Let's see. Good morning. How are you?
Good.
A question in regards to partnering with banks. So in the event that we identify a small community bank, credit unions, is that something that we reach out directly to you to
Yeah.
engage with them, or okay?
Yeah. And just between you and I, how we end up doing it is they become an agent just like you are. They get an agent
Okay.
ID just like you are. And they're on your first level, just like normal, and you get paid overrides on everything they do. Uh,
Okay.
but we help them with logos, we help them with web materials, we help them on their website if we want to add stuff. So yeah, we help take over the partnership. But as far as the compensation and everything, it works the exact same as a regular agency.
Okay. Understood. Thank you.
Great question, Michael. Any other questions from anybody? Comments? Did this help you today? Did you see your way that you could reach out to some banks and make introductions and then create referral partnerships? I see the chat. Go ahead in the chat if you want to say something. 21. And by the way, I want to say this one last thing. I see Matthew DeHame's got his hand up. I'll go to you 1 second, Matthew. I would just say this: every one relationship like this could equal easily several fundings a year. So, and they're your fundings because in the case that I'm talking about, every referral from my local bank, we don't have a partnership and he does not want to get paid. He's sending me clients for goodwill to his own for his business. So they become my personal clients. Right. So the only reason they become his clients is if his branch signed up as an agent. They're not. So it's a real good way to get referral sources. All of those, the way Angela mentioned, the way Michael mentioned, would they be on level 1 to you? But the way Angela mentioned, they're just sending your cards. Your cards are the ones they're handing out. Michael, how you doing, or Matthew, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great down here in you know where, down in Winter Wonderland, you know. Let
Yes.
me see what I'm up in New Jersey and the areas that I grew up in. And again, you want to be local. I want to first of all tell you this is a phenomenal training, but he's got to go back and look at it. It's very detailed. It's very specific to
Yep.
the process of building the relationship. Strategic partnership is what this is with your local banker. Okay. So David, you laid out beautifully, the setting the table. Beautiful. And just in review, I want to add my thoughts. Okay.
Mhm.
What is their motivation for talking to you? Customer retention. This is everything. This is the whole purpose from their perspective. From their perspective, it's all about what are you going to do for me? I mean, I'm doing this for you. What, not what's in it for me, but why in the world would I want to? Okay, you're laying out details, and here's what we can do, and here's what we do. Bottom line, simplify this. We're going to keep your clients depositing there. And also, additionally, we do encounter clients we can't serve that are okay putting up collateral. Would it be okay if I send them to you? It's a strategic partnership. And I would just, I'm saying this because I'm not there, but God, Lord knows I'm there. When I'm there, I'm doing this. I can't be there physically to follow up, but I love the idea of the phone call, the email, to set it up, that meeting. You've got to talk to them. Now, community banks, and I want to just segue because you're, Wells Fargo and, Bank of America, they're not likely. They got a corporate and their hands are tied, basically, even within their own corporate structure. They don't have the ability to make that decision. Although they might be generous, people are very generous. They don't want to say no to you. They don't want to say no to their client, but they also don't want to say no to you because they're friendly and they'll take your card and toss it. What you did was when you sit in there and say, hey, we're not competing with you. We want to help your client stay here. And as you well know, you'd love to approve all of them, but we know you can't. So and then you lay out, here's why we can, here's what, then your list. And then they're doing the connect the dots. Now I see why you do what you do. And now I see where you're talking to me right now. Yes, because there's so many, they're going to go to another bank. Maybe, not suggesting they will, but we're going to make sure that they stay at your bank and that large deposit. When we approve them, which is 80% of the time, they're going to deposit it with you. And they're likely going to be very pleased that you found them a solution. That's it. That's all. I just want to add my little thoughts there.
Love it. Love it. Appreciate it, Matthew. Yeah. Thanks for the, what do you say? Affirmation. Affirmation. This is a good thing. And I know when you're in town, he's on the other end of literally the other end of the equator. So he doesn't get to walk into businesses in the United States unless he's back home visiting. So he is a U.S. citizen, and that's why he's able to build it from afar, U.S. bank account, all that stuff. But he's living in Argentina, which is Morgan went to Brazil last week. And I said, how was the flight? She goes, I couldn't believe how long the flight was to Brazil. She goes, I thought it was like flying to Mexico, and it was 10 hours to Brazil. Argentina's even further. I'm guessing like 12, 14 hours to get to Argentina. But anyway, I don't see any other questions. I don't see any other comments. So here's the bottom line. Put it into everything we teach. The refer a friend, the bank managing, send an email. It doesn't take long to send out 10 banks an email. Someone else is going to in your town. Why not you? God bless you all. Appreciate you all. We'll see you tomorrow on the Pay Pro tip day. And Matthew, here's your blue cup, buddy. It's not the DAC blue, but it's looking pretty good, eh? And we will talk to you all tomorrow night. Nick DeHame, Wade Cordell, going to bring home the house for new agents. And we are just really creating a burst of growth and momentum. And we're glad to have all of you. We're just so thankful. Let's go make an impact, team. Business owners need it. Some of them are on their last leg this month. Literally, June just started, and they've already they're behind on June bills, and they don't know how they're going to get through July, 4th of July weekend. It's supposed to be a festive time, and they're struggling because they're behind on June bills. And how are they going to enjoy 4th of July weekend when they got bills to pay? And anyone who's ever been a manager, you know what that's like. And I'm sorry, a business owner, hey, if you've got a home and you've got a budget, when you're behind on stuff. Businesses have it a little differently. They don't get to pay their mortgage, their payroll late. They don't get to call the phone company and say, give me another month. They pay, or their employees don't get paid. So it's tough. And we've got the solution, guys. And even worse, as a business that's in massive growth, and they either have to sell or stall because you can't fund the growth. God bless you all. We appreciate you all. Let's go make an impact. It's a greater purpose than